Hello folks, I'm Kevin and this is the third video, no sorry, this is the fourth video of the React Hooks series. In this one, first of all, if you didn't watch the previous videos, I'd encourage you because I'm always giving context here, actually saying stuff here considering that you have the context of the other videos and the other hooks. But for this one, we're gonna focus on two different hooks, the useCallback and the useMemo. And also on the memo, that is not a hook, but it serves the same purpose, which is to focus on the performance of the app, to avoid unnecessary re-renders. I'll try to be kind of quick because we are just approaching many different features. I'll create a child here, a child component, that initially is just an h2 child. I'll put child right here, and as always, I'll create our count with useState. Yeah, useState hook count 0. If you don't know how I did that, I also mentioned the extension I'm using in the previous videos. And yeah, right now I'm gonna add a button that on click, let's see if we get a suggestion, we increment count. And I'm just gonna display the value of count here. So everything's working as expected. Right now, I'm gonna add a console log. Sorry. Child. And I'll add an emoji here just so we differ. What about the poop? And inside the app, I'm gonna log app. And we already used the poop. This one will be the goat. Alright, so if I refresh here, we get the app rendered and also the child. And if I increment count, we always get both of them re-rendered, both the goat and the poop. How do we prevent that? Because do we want child being re-rendered? We didn't update count, so it makes no sense to re-render the child as well. Yeah, by the way, in real life, of course, for a small component like this, we aren't getting any performance issues, so I wouldn't personally create a useMemo. I don't want to overuse it because I would be afraid of actually creating performance issues because we are just memorizing everything. But let's go with the example here. I'm gonna use the memo from React, which once again is not a hook. It already existed before the hooks, before the version 16.8. I think that's it. And I'm gonna wrap. So in a real life situation, I would export default child and wrap it with memo. That's what I would do. But since they are on the same file here, I'm just gonna wrap the function with a memo. That looks like an error, but it's not. It's just ESLint complaining. So what I'm gonna do is just disable ESLint for the entire file so we don't get annoyed by it. Yeah, but there isn't any mistakes in here. It's just ugly for ESLint. It's just trying to fix my code style. Anyhow, now we are wrapping the function with a memo. And what memo says, let me show you guys. If I click in increment, now we just get the app re-rendered, not child. And that's because what memo says is, hey, I don't want to be re-rendered unless I get updates. For example, if now we pass, I'm gonna create an increment. So I'm just gonna pass the count here, and now we'll show child and count. And now I'll pass count is count. All right. Now every time I re-render the app by updating count, we are also updating child because child also receives count as a dependency. Even if I wasn't using count here, like even if I wasn't using it, just because I'm passing count, it would understand that count is a dependency of child. All right. All right. So that's the first feature I'm showing you guys, memo. Let's go to another one. What if I want to pass a function? I'll create a function called increment here, const increment. It's equals to set count, passing count plus 1. And I'm just gonna recreate this button inside child this time. So pasting it, on click now calls increment, and I'm also receiving increment here. This is a little ugly. Let me just style it. Won't affect the behavior. And yeah, now we have on click called an increment. Actually, this is a bad example because every time I update count, it will receive count. Yeah, this time I want this. This will be a good example. I'll create a second count here, count 2, and yeah, I'll add another button here. Button, click, it will show count 2, and let me add the text count 2, just so we know which one is which. All right, so right now, of course, if I update this one, I'm re-rendering both the app and the child. But even when I update count 2, I am triggering the re-render for both app and child. But why is child being re-rendered if it doesn't share dependency with count 2? If you paid attention to the previous videos, you'll see that I emphasized that when we re-render a component, we are rerunning this code. So that also means that we are redeclaring the variables. Right here, we have a variable called increment, which is a function. And if we have two functions that do the same thing, like function A does nothing and function B does nothing as well. If we compare func A with func B, we get false because each function is unique. We are comparing their reference value here. It's like their unique IDs. So every time we render our app, we are redeclaring a function, so a new function, and assigning it to increment. Therefore, child thinks that every time we render app, we are updating the increment value. To avoid that, we can memoize the increment function, and we can do that by using the useCallback hook. What useCallback, the way it works is that we can wrap the function here. So I'm wrapping the whole function with useCallback, and I'm basically saying, hey, don't update this function unless one of the variables change, one of the dependency variables, just like the use effect. So if I call this one right now, you see that we aren't triggering child to re-render. But we did get a new problem, which is if I try to increment this one, it won't work anymore. And that's because we said don't update this function. And this function sets count to 0, which is the value that it was when I declared this function, plus 1. So I'm always trying to reassign the value to 1 again. And when it does work. So I should say, hey, if count updates, then I want to re-render the child too. So right now I'm re-rendering the app by updating to the count 2. And just app is being re-rendered. And if I click the second one, now we are re-rendering both applications and getting the result on the screen. So yeah, that's useCallback. That's how it works. Don't forget, useCallback, get the name callback. Callbacks are functions. useCallback receives a callback function. It saves the function and only updates it when we get some changes on the dependencies array. All right? And the last hook we're gonna check right now is the useMemo. So get the name of it. useMemo. Sounds like memo, right? What memo does? Memoize a component. What useCallback does? It memoizes a function, and useMemo, will memoize a value. useMemo is supposed to save a value that, let's say, it uses way too much process, with too much computation. You need way too much time to get it running. So we don't wanna do that every time. Example, let's say we have a function called pickColor, and we'll call not the useMemo yet. Let's see the issue before. And this function will, based on the count, it will check, hey, if the count is divisible by 2, return red. If count is divisible by 3, return blue. If count, we can add as many as we want here, is divisible by 5, return green. And as default, return purple. All right, that's an example. this function will be fast, but imagine that for some reason we have a bunch of stuff, like a big for loop here that counts up to 1,000 for so big for loop, right? Doing nothing right now. And I'll add a console log here, pick color, and I'll add flowers. If I had this pick color for the H1, for example, let's say the style will be color, pick color, green. Wow, it changed by itself? What happened? No, fine. Oh, can you see how slow it is to log stuff? So we are even getting a violation here. Message handler took almost half millisecond. No, not half millisecond. 500. Let's keep calling it. You see how slow I click? Because of that big for loop. So I don't want to call that each time because for some reason we use it too much computing for checking. It's slow to pick a color. So what we can do is just like the function, wrap it with the useMemo. And the difference between useMemo and useCallback, even though the syntax is pretty much the same, as you can see, like I wrapped the function with that, is that useCallback stores the whole function. useMemo will just save the return value of the function. So for this one, yeah, it will return either red, blue, green, or purple. Since right now we are returning the output of the function, instead of pick color, I'm just gonna call it color, and I'm gonna pass color here without calling it as a function, because now, so I can omit this part, just like that. And we do have a dependency here, which will be count, because we wanna update that when count runs. So right now, if we call count2, we are not getting this function being called again. I didn't show you that, but let me show you. If I just remove that, even when I call it count2, that shouldn't matter. We are calling pick color, all right? What I did here was remove the dependencies array. If I get it back here, I'm not calling pick color anymore, so this function, everything's fast. Only when I increment this one, we are gonna call pick color, and it's slow, but we don't need to call this function again unless we get this value updated. Fast, slow. Yeah, so that's the useMemo. That's it, guys. So I really hope you liked this video. I tried to simplify it as much as I can. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.